Yo, what's good, YouTube? We here back with another reaction video. We got all 8 guards ranked in Squid Games Explained now. Season 2, if you don't know, has dropped. I don't know when, but it dropped. And I only watched the first episode. The first episode was an hour. Oh my god. But it was good. It was really good. I was confused at the beginning because I was like, who is these characters? Shoot, I think I need to go back and like watch like the last 3 episodes of the first season so I can remember who is who. But like it's insane. I'm not gonna really say what happened because I'm not trying to spoil anyone. But let's go see these 8 guards who are
Behind
getting
the
guard hard
tens of thousands of lives the Squid Games have taken
in their
lies a
ranks.
hierarchy of humans far more evil than you can imagine. Every year since 1988, a new competition has begun, each more deadly than the last. However, to ensure that the Squid Game system stays rigid, secure, and horrific, an incredibly precise hierarchy has been put into place, which is just as sick and twisted as the games themselves. Starting with the salesman. He is the very first layer of the Squid Game rank system, and he's the one who starts the chain reaction that leads people into this evil competition. You see, he's not just a recruiter, he's the gatekeeper, the one who identifies and selects the players who will participate in the games, and that is what makes him dangerous.
Yeah.
Imagine this, you're in a subway station, exhausted, broken, feeling like life is just beating down upon you. Then out of nowhere, a cheerful man in a suit approaches you. Then he offers you a chance to play a simple game of dakji. If you win, you get money, and if you lose, you get slapped. It may seem harmless, but it's the most dangerous and life-changing game you will ever play. You see, the salesman isn't just testing your skills, he's testing your desperation. His entire role in the Squid Game's hierarchy is finding people at their lowest point, those willing to endure humiliation or pain for a chance at a better life. The slap that comes with the loss represents the slap in the face the rich and powerful give to those beneath them through corporate greed and exploitation. Then when the player finally wins and gets the money, it comes with a business card. There's no detailed explanation, just a phone number and a promise of even more rewards if you're willing to take the risk. And that is the genius of the salesman's role. He doesn't
Hey,
force
he a
anyone
W
to
salesman.
join. He lets their desperation and curiosity do the work, cruelly justifying the Squid Game's existence by declaring it a fair
Hey,
and
like nah, like no matter what you gotta say, that's some W selling. Like it's evil because he's using people's emotions and desperations against them, but he doing his job.
equal opportunity for
Not
all.
saying it's a good
But we
job.
all know
I have to
this
say.
isn't the truth. After all, the salesman isn't just a recruiter, he's a manipulator. He exploits people's vulnerabilities and uses them to pull them into a system even more deadly than the one he's offering them an escape from. In fact, he's a reflection of that system, how the most vulnerable are the ones exploited for profit or entertainment. And so whilst he's not the top of the hierarchy, he is still one of the most important. And whilst he is incredibly responsible for the death of thousands, his hands are clean, or at least in his mind, because once he's recruited you, he's gone, leaving players to face the consequences of their decisions. However, if you do track him down, which is not easy as Gi-hun spent over 2 years trying to do so, he will fight back. Then when he's captured, those trying to follow him will essentially get thrown into a mini Squid Game. Squid Games on the go, you could say. All the fun
Squid
and
Games on the
excitement
go.
of the normal games anywhere in the world. In fact, even in his spare time, the salesman likes to gamble with the livelihoods of those less fortunate. That's right, he's in it all for the love of the game. As bro would even go to local parks and ask homeless people to choose between bread or a lottery ticket. Then, if they lose, he would destroy the bread that they refused in front of them, claiming they chose to destroy the perfectly fine bread themselves. But even that is nothing compared to his little game of rock, paper, scissors -1 combined with Russian
I ain't
roulette.
gonna lie, that's
But because
crazy.
he's such a preacher
I
of
remember
fairness,
seeing,
it was
bro. I
only
was watching
fair
this
that
part.
the
I was like, "Yo,
salesman
this
got a
is
taste of his
insane."
own medicine. After interrogating the winner of Russian roulette about who hired them, the salesman
Hey, he never said any warnings about spoilers, and low key, we were already deep into. We pretty much just went through the entire first season. I'm so sorry, but for here on out, warning, because there will be spoilers, and I'm probably gonna get spoiled myself for any other episodes in the second season.
and confronted Gihun alone, once again playing Russian roulette. In spite of his cocky attitude though,
I don't
he
think you
lost.
gave
His
any
luck
warnings. He
had
might
vanished,
have, and I just
but
missed
not
it.
before revealing the truth before how he got into his position. Because you see, the salesman isn't actually the lowest rank there is. In fact, it's actually a really high one. He has direct contact with their master, all because of the salesman's former rank. He was originally one of the Pink Guards, where upon realizing he had to kill his dad, who was a Squid Game participant, he had what it took to send people to their deaths and be promoted to the salesman. And I mean, just look at this guy. He is not normal. But talking of the Guards, aka Pink Soldiers, this faction of the staff is subsequently split into 3 tiers of ranking, starting with the lowest. These are the Pink Workers, symbolized by the O on their masks. They are the unseen hands that keep the Squid Games running smoothly, tasked with dull but essential jobs
do
that
all the
ensure
cleaning
there are no
and stuff.
interruptions. Essentially, the Pink Workers are the civilians of the Guard hierarchy. Their duties evolve around assisting with game operations, performing general upkeep, and handling the cleanup. They transport the bodies of deceased contestants, cremate them, and distribute food to the players. Without them, the games would quickly descend into chaos. But despite the physical demands of their work and its importance, the Pink Workers live under the same rigid structure as the rest of the Guards. They cannot speak without permission from a higher ranking manager, and they must remain at their designated posts unless instructed otherwise. They have no access to firearms and no decision-making power. Furthermore, their mask must be worn at all times outside of their dorm, and they cannot leave. The dehumanizing nature of their role is reflected in how they are treated. They are not allowed to show empathy or favoritism towards the players, no matter what messed up shit they've got to witness. This rule strips them of their individuality and moral agency, turning them into mere tools of the Squid Game hierarchy. Thus, like the contestants that they cremate, they too are trapped within a system that values obedience and monotony above all else. They are just as bound by the rules as the players, unable to deviate from their assigned tasks without risking punishment or death. As a result, whilst looking like they may seem like faceless enforcers of the system, they're also victims of it. By hiding their faces and stripping away their voices, the organization ensures that they are seen only as a part of the machinery of the games. Their individuality is quite literally erased, making it easier for the organization and even the workers themselves to justify their participation in such a brutal system, as seen with 2 corrupt workers who broke the rules and co-conspired with player 111, a former doctor who wanted to dissect and sell the organs of deceased players on the black market. In fact, this organ harvesting operation continued into Season 2, where we see some of the Pink Soldiers purposely keeping contestants alive during the games. They rank above the workers and are symbolized by a triangle on their masks. They are the armed and authoritative enforcers of the Squid Game's brutal rules, tasked with maintaining the integrity of the games through force and fear. This is the difference between them and the workers, because whilst their rigid hierarchy and anonymity mirror each other, the soldiers are defined by the power they wield and the violence they are instructed to inflict to ensure the Squid Games retain their deadly composure. As a result, the soldiers are equipped with submachine guns and revolvers to ensure that eliminated players, whether through failing the games or breaking the rules, are swiftly and definitively dealt with. A rule that Number 11 tries her best to uphold, actively fighting back against the corrupt soldiers keeping contestants alive for their organs. This is because she was given the task of putting the lives of the miserable contestants out of their misery. That is what the Pink Guards are told they are doing on the island. Along with taking away lives though, they're also instructed to play a special game when fighting breaks out amongst the contestants to quell the chaos. However, another reason they stepped in to stop the fights during Season 1 and 2 is to also protect their respective superiors, players 001, aka the host and the frontman. Nonetheless, their role as both the muscle and the protectors of the Squid Games is most notable when they are actively involved in the search and capture of Hwang Jun-ho, the undercover police officer infiltrating the games looking for his brother. But at the top of the Pink Guards food chain are the managers, symbolized by a square on their masks. They are the organizational backbone of the Squid Game. Acting as the frontman's trusted ground leaders, they oversee the Pink soldiers and workers, ensuring the smooth and efficient operation of the games. Whilst they wield less firepower than the soldiers, their authority within the hierarchy is the highest, and thus most dangerous. Armed only with a revolver, the managers rely more on their commanding presence and strategic role than brute force, acting as intermediaries between the frontman and the lower ranks, executing his directives and maintaining order amongst the guards. As a result, managers possess a level level of autonomy not
No,
granted
this
to
is
the other
insane
guards.
levels
Unlike
of
soldiers or
hierarchy
workers,
right
they
now.
can speak more freely, relaying rules, announcing schedules, and overseeing interactions between the staff and contestants. Outside of the games themselves, though, their duties include monitoring operations from control centers behind the scenes to ensure that every action, from the player's movements to the guard's compliance, is observed, followed, and evaluated. For example, one manager in particular was in charge of the workers during the Sugar Honeycomb game. He noticed that player 29 wasn't doing his job and told him to meet with him after the game, but player 119, who failed, subsequently stabbed a guard in the eye before then taking the manager at gunpoint, forcing him to take off his mask. When player 119 saw how young the manager really was, he chose to end his own life. However, the damage was already done for the young man, as once the manager's face had been revealed, the frontman arrived and executed him for breaking the rules. After all, he is the second highest rank member of the hierarchy, dictating authority over those beneath him. As the overseer, the frontman, aka Huang In-ho, monitors the games through an array of surveillance cameras watching every move. However, he's actually a former winner of the games himself. You see, his wife was diagnosed with a rare illness which got so bad that she needed a liver transplant. However, whilst they were figuring out the treatment, it was discovered that his wife was also pregnant. Doctors recommended terminating the pregnancy, but she didn't listen. Regardless of the danger, she was determined to give birth. But unfortunately, Huang In-ho and their family couldn't find an organ donor nor the money whilst her conditions got worse, even after loaning a ton of cash, as In-ho had already donated his kidney to his stepbrother years prior. However, he eventually accepted a loan from the wrong person, which his superiors at the police force saw as a cash bribe, causing Huang In-ho to lose his job, eventually seeing him sent into the Squid Games as a last-ditch desperate attempt at money. In spite of this, he saw the beauty of the games. He believed in the vision Nam was creating. He believed that until the world had decided to change for good, the Squid Games was a necessary evil. Hence why he took on such a high-ranking position. But in Season 2, he threw all of that away. Much like how Nam did, once the frontman had learned of Ji-hun's return to the game, he decides to participate, taking up the mantle of player 001. He uses the name Young Il for cover, also that he can get close and personal with Gi-hun and test him. It becomes the biggest battle of the entire series, and it's all about ideological warfare. Because the frontman has seen the worst of society, he has no hope in humanity, whereas Gi-hun is the opposite. Despite re-entering the games and being surrounded by what society deems as scum, he has hope that together they will escape alive. During his time spent in the games though, a substitute frontman was required, and this is a new position to Season 2 known as the Officer. Wearing an inverted pink guard's jumpsuit, this is another powerful position, but also the most corrupt. This officer is actually the source of the organ harvesting taking place within the games. Like the frontman, his power is high, as seen when he was able to stop Number 11 in her attempts to halt his illegal organ operations. The result for this power though is actually linked to their past together. That's because the officer met with Number 11 7 years prior in hospital when she was weak and vulnerable after fleeing North Korea. He hired her as a guard as he felt sorry for Number 11. Thus, in a way, he's almost a combination of the frontman and the salesman when it comes to the pink guards, as he not only manipulates and preys on the unfortunate, but also offers them the promise of a way out of their circumstances. In this case, by exploiting Number 11's desire to do anything to find her 1-year-old child she left behind in North Korea. Possibly the most grotesque and dehumanizing layer of the Squid Games hierarchy though are the VIPs. They are the spectators, the elite, and the finances of the deadly games, coming in from all over the world. Unlike the pink soldiers or even the frontman, who are still bound by the rules of the system, the VIPs exist entirely above it. They are untouchable, and their presence reveals the true purpose of the games. Not a fair second chance for the poor, but rather entertainment for the wealthy. This is not so subtly symbolized by what is technically the lowest rank of all, the human furniture. This is exactly how it sounds.
Wait, what?
Humans, stripped of any humanity, turned into objects. Slightly
Oh,
above them are the
nah.
masked waiters. Again, how it sounds. No sense of personality, merely monotonous slaves to do as the VIPs desire without question. But to capture the VIPs' sense of authority and power, they are draped in luxurious robes and wear animal-themed masks. Their masks symbolize their detachment from reality and humanity, but unlike all other workers, still have their own unique design to show that they are more than just a nameless pawn of the system. Because to them, the games are nothing more than a spectacle, a form of high-stakes gambling where they bet on human lives as casually as someone might bet on horse racing. They cheer when someone dies, marvel
No,
at the
this is a
creativity
lot.
of the challenges, and laugh
I
at the
gotta
suffering
watch
of others. For
season
them, the
2 all the
games
way.
are not about fairness or survival, they're about satisfying their own twisted desires. Most notably seen during the Glass Bridge game, where, when one contestant uses his IRL skills working with glass to tell which panel is real, ensuring their survival, the game was deemed too boring by the VIPs. Thus, the lights were turned out to raise the entertainment value and stakes. A great example of the kind of power they hold is that even the frontman serves their demands without question. He is as much their slave as the waiters, which is made clear by the fact that even their mask designs are strikingly similar. One of the most unsettling moments involving the VIPs, though, comes when one of them tries to exploit a staff member for his own gratification, underlying their utter disregard for boundaries or morality, further seeing people as an object of entertainment and nothing more. In the end, the VIPs are a representation of systemic rot. They're not pulling the strings like the host or enforcing the rules like the frontmen, but their money and appetite for evil fuel the entire operation. Without them, the games wouldn't exist. Bringing us onto the host in question, aka Player 001, O Il Nam, the originator of the entire Squid Game. As a result, he is the pinnacle of the hierarchy and the one who stands above all. Thus,
what
it is no
happened to him?
coincidence that
Where
he
did
is
he
viewed
go?
as a distant and almost godlike figure as he plays with the lives of others, all to give what he believes to be a fair chance in life. Ilnam created the games out of boredom and a warped sense of curiosity and justice. As a man of immense wealth, he found himself disconnected from the world, no longer able to find joy or excitement in anything. The games were his way of reclaiming that thrill of feeling alive again by watching others fight for their survival. However, even that wasn't enough. He didn't just want to watch from the sidelines, and so he inserted himself into the chaos, playing as a contestant to experience the stakes firsthand. However, 36 years after creating the Squid Games, following a huge financial crisis that hit the country, Ilnam's death may feel like a small victory, but it doesn't undo all the damage that he caused. Even in his final moments, he was gambling on other people, putting his own life on the line. Now, if you want to learn more about Ilnam, his full story,
Wait, so
and
he's
how
dead?
his will was passed on
Did
to
he
the
die in the
frontman,
first
make
one?
sure you
I
check
don't
out the
remember.
video
I
on your
really don't
screen
remember what happened at the
right
end.
now.
I really don't remember what happened at the end of the first one, bro. I gotta rewatch it because I genuinely do not remember the last couple of episodes. But nah, bro, it's about to get real. Y'all think they're gonna do a season 3? Or y'all think this is really the last season? Y'all let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, the link will be in the description. If you enjoyed the reaction, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next reaction video. Peace.